Hi friends, it's me Jenna from the White Witch Parlor, and I just want to have a little chat with you because I'm sure you're feeling the energy in the air lately with everything that's going on in our world, in our reality, and I want to talk to you about what's happening spiritually for everyone. So much like with rebuilding a new home on a house that's falling apart, sometimes it's best to knock that house completely apart and get it down to the foundation so that you can rebuild a stronger foundation and rebuild your walls to be better and more brilliant, more filled with safety and precautions, and maybe even more love. Maybe the house has deteriorated so much that it needs a fresh new start, and that's what's happening to our reality. This matrix that we live in is basically collapsing because many of us are starting to wake up. So it's almost like a game over scenario. Once you start realizing certain patterns and things are not working for you anymore, it starts to find a new avenue to fit into your life. And right now, if it's not working for us as a collective, it's going to have to collapse so that we can build something new. And so a lot of this energy is very much a battle of light and dark energy. There's a lot of this energy coming out, just like the sun. It's important for you to keep focusing on the light, no matter how dark it seems. And also take note that not everything you see is what it seems. There are some aspects to a lot of what's happening in the world that are being projected to you, and they are falsified, and they're not necessarily real things happening. And because this is a reality that we've all created as a collective, we're all also projecting different realities. So there's a lot of confusion happening, and that's because we're all carrying this confusion energy. But don't get locked into that energy, because that's also a very dark energy. If you look in the pentacle, for example, a right side up pentacle or pentagram is the symbol of unity, harmony. It's all the elements encompassed in one, and it's pointing up. If you reverse that, it's all the elements pointed down, and it's now disharmony, chaos, and destruction. This is basically clarity versus confusion, and that's what's happening basically in our world. And if you don't take that time for your own self-care, meditation, staying hydrated, and staying as positive as you can, a lot of this can go down the very, very dark path. So if you want it to go to a light path, it's very important for you to keep finding your light. And with everything that's happening around you, it's also very important to react to it with clear intention. So before you react suddenly and say, oh my gosh, the world's ending, stop for a second and say, is that a bad thing? Is it a bad thing for the world to end? The world as we know it, our reality as we know it to crumble. Maybe it needs to be brought attention to, and maybe it needs to be rebuilt. So when we come to these conclusions, we'll find ourselves asking ourselves a lot of questions. We'll say, well, we wanted this to happen, but now that it's happening, we're afraid of it. So now a lot of us are confronting everything that's happening in the world from a point of fear rather than a place of love, because we're reacting too fast, and we're not stopping, and we're not thinking, and we're not grounding our energy. We're just reacting and getting involved too quickly. Which brings me to another topic of making sure you're aware and educating yourself and doing your own research. A lot of people jump on the bandwagon with trends and things that are happening before doing their own research. So they're not always aware of what they're actually adding to that pot to stir it up. So again, be clear on your intentions. And the other thing that's really important is to be true to yourself. If something doesn't feel right, listen to your intuition. It may not be right. If something feels off or you feel scared to go somewhere, listen to your intuition. All this is all coming together. This is eons, decades, this is weeks, everything. It's a culmination of everything coming together. So yes, it can be very intense, but it's really important that you breathe, and breathe a lot, and ground your energy as much as possible. Love as unconditionally as you can. Love yourself, love your neighbors, love your family and your friends, and maybe even the people that you didn't like before. Love them too. Everyone needs love, and this is how we overcome the state of our kind of chaotic world right now. Because there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and there is rainbows after a storm. Which is another thing to remember, is that light carries a vibration that encompasses all color. So when you take a prism, for example, like a clear quartz prism, and shine light through it, it creates a rainbow. And the opposite is to be said. A rainbow is essentially one. It's light. It's a one. That is what we are. We're one. We're one consciousness. We're one gigantic organism on the earth. And together, all of our thoughts, all of our emotions, all of our words, which have so much power. If you haven't already realized the power your words hold, you need to wake up to that as well. All of these things are coming together, and they're being presented in front of us. And finally, for the first time, as a unity, we are awakening in a mass scale. And much of this is due to the virus, because we've all been able to take a step back from our 9-to-5 jobs, wake up, go to work, come home, eat, go to bed schedule, where we're not paying attention. And many of us are finally able to pay attention to what's happening. Many of us are seeing the red flags, and we're seeing and noticing things that don't necessarily add up or make sense. And so this energy is finally making sense to us because we're watching it, we're paying attention. While people were at home doing nothing, essentially there was a whole lot of stuff happening. Spiritually, to your body, perhaps you needed rest, you needed that time off, you needed to be with your family, you needed to be in your own space to get back into the groove of who you are and who you need to be. And all these things have been working together. Nothing is coincidence, and everything happens for a reason. A lot of times we jump to the conclusion that it's a bad thing that's happening, but we forget that most of the things that are happening is a lesson to be learned. So what we're doing is we're learning lessons rapidly now. We are learning so quickly, and there's a lot of information coming in, and most people aren't aware of what's happening, and when it starts flooding them, they start blocking it out again, just like they did when they were working their 9-to-5 jobs. So instead, that's why I say ground yourself, find yourself, breathe, and drink water. Stay hydrated. It's really important right now. We're going through a massive shift in our humanity, and the shift is going to bring about new technologies, brotherhood and unity, community, eating real food versus eating not good food. It's going to bring together how we work our finances and how we help each other, rather than trying to make that dollar per hour. That will all fall away. And in fact, that reality already exists, but it's a frequency that we're all on a mass scale waking up to, so we can all shift into this reality. If you haven't already tapped into different channelers and found people that you can look into, I highly recommend you do that now. There's so many messages coming through right now that are in so much alignment with what's happening right now, and they're very important for what's happening right now, not only around you but within you. And if you're not paying attention, it's going to move very fast and you're going to get confused. So you need to tune in. With that said, breathe. Keep breathing. There's a lot going on. And if you continue to pay attention, you will see the veil lifting from the evils and the darkness. And I don't like to use the term darkness, because someone also did point out that babies develop in darkness. So if we look at that, what's happening right now? We're in a world of darkness, but just like a baby in the womb, it's growing life. So this darkness right now is growing life, and eventually that life has to be born into light, and that's what's happening right now. and you're living in it. And what a time to be alive, to experience these things. It's no coincidence that you're alive right now. And this is where it gets very exciting. If you're awakening right now, it's because you need to awaken so that you can help your neighbor, your family, your friend, your loved ones awaken when the time is right. So many things will be coming to light soon, and it's going to shock people. People are going to be in disbelief, more chaos, more destruction, because that's what we do when we start awakening. It's hard sometimes to get out of bed. When you're too comfy sleeping, you don't want to wake up. But when we start waking up, some people will have a very hard time waking up. And that's your job right now, is to wake up as much as you can. Take care of yourself as much as you can. Drink your water, water yourself, exercise your body, breathe in the air, so that way you are stable, you have a good foundation, and you can help the people around you when they start waking up. And that's why you are that light worker. That's why you are born right now. That's why you were in this world now, because you needed to be here to help everyone else. And that's my message to you today, is that you are the most beautiful soul, so full of light and abundance. And your job as a light worker and a healer and a lover is coming to fruition. And you need to step up to the plate, and you need to do what you need to do to help your fellow man come into the light, to help all. So I just wanted to share that message with you guys today. I love you all so very much. Keep your chin up. Listen, be alert, stay vigilant. And I love you all so very much. Have a beautiful and blessed week. Bye.